In this video, I'm going to be discussing pleas and offers in criminal cases. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in Los Angeles, and I help people who have been arrested put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. And again, I'm going to be talking about plea deals and offers in this video. Now, this video is actually part of a series of videos, and this is the final part where I talk about pleas and offers. This is part of a series of videos about a criminal case timeline, kind of explaining it. I have a link to this down below, and this document is something that I created for my clients after I'd been doing this for a while and realized that, I explained things to them, but if they had an overview of what to expect without me bombarding them with information, like making this all into one really long video that I'm just coming at them with, if it was written down and they can refer back to it, maybe that would help them. And I did find that the clients who read this document, the ones I did give it to, did seem to have a better idea of what to expect. So yeah, you can find a link to this down below. And this is not really as much part of the timeline as something that I feel needs to be explained, because in this document I mentioned quite a few times plea deals, negotiating with the DA, offers, and some people are like, I didn't do anything wrong, I just want my case dismissed. And I completely understand that. However, I say to those people, but let's say if they're in jail, let's say you were to get a time served offer. You've been in here for maybe a few months already. Let's say you were to get that offer. Wouldn't you at least want to know about it? Wouldn't you at least want to know if you're saying, I want to take it to trial, I want to fight it till the end, but you were to get an offer like that? Wouldn't you at least, I'm not saying you would take it, but wouldn't you want to hear about it? Wouldn't you want me to, see if that's a possibility? And universally, they say yes. They say yes, sometimes, right? Of course you would want to hear about that. So I explained that, hey, look, my job as a criminal defense attorney, whether you want an offer or not, is to see, unless there's like an asterisk here, unless it could negatively affect the case, to see what I can get on the table for you, right? I had one client who I represented him after another attorney had represented him. And after that attorney represented him, like the end of the case was, it wasn't positive. Like, it showed that very likely a jury would convict him. And I'm being vague here. I kind of have to be in this situation. He told the other attorney at one point, like, I don't want to take any deals. And what he really meant was, like, I don't want to take a deal of like 10 years or more. And what that attorney basically said is like, okay, fine, then I'm not going to even I won't even try. I won't even see what they'll offer you. Because the thing is that your attorney negotiating and trying to see what they can get on the table for you, it doesn't obligate you to take any deal. Now, like, the big exception is that sometimes in these cases, you don't want your attorney, like, depending on the strength of your own case, and the likelihood of success, like, let's say you really do have a really, really great case, for example, you don't want your attorney necessarily going to the DA and being like, please, what will you give me? And acting kind of desperate. So that's what I mean when I say, like, that's an example of where that would hurt the case. And I would not, in that kind of situation, I would make sure that, okay, we're totally on board with one another. But, as I explained in this document, like, part of our job, even if our clients don't want to take any offer whatsoever, is try to get the best thing that we can on the table. Then we explain to the client, and if the client doesn't want to take it, that's fine. That's totally okay. And that is the attitude that your attorney should have, that we support. If you don't want to take that, we will give you our advice, right? We give you our best advice. But then it's up to you to make this decision, an informed decision. Like, ask us questions. Take that opportunity. Ask us questions. But your attorney shouldn't be pressuring you into taking a deal. They can be sometimes imploring you to take a deal if they think that it's really in your best interest, but they should be explaining to you why. Like, hey, look, here is the evidence against you. Here's the video. Let's watch it together. Okay, that's pretty bad for you. And they should be taking the time to go step by step through it. But my message here and my point that I wanted to get across to my clients is that when I'm talking about a deal or trying to get a deal, it doesn't mean that I'm going to force you to take a deal. It doesn't mean my goal for the case is for you to take a deal. I am doing this not because I like going to make deals. Like, I'm not doing this job because I like to go and make deals. There are multiple reasons why I like doing this job, but I mean, the number one thing, the thing that makes me happy to do, the thing that when I think, what is my job? Who am I? Is I'm a trial lawyer. I like going to trial. I like cross-examining witnesses. I like catching them in their BS. I like presenting evidence in my client's favor. That's what's exciting. That's what makes me happy. But I'm not going to force my clients to go to trial and take the risk of trial just because I like doing it, of course, right? So, I mean, you should have an attorney whose passion in criminal defense, their passion probably should be going to trial. You should have an attorney who is willing to go to trial. But it is important that that attorney also tries to get the best deal on the table, and that if you want to say, F that deal, I'm not taking it, okay. That's okay. But what you don't want to do, and I see defendants who sometimes will get cold feet at the last minute, close before trial, you don't want to not have any options available to you and have it just be like this trial or nothing. That's all that you have because nobody ever tried for a deal for you. Most of the best deals come before the preliminary hearing. So if you said, I don't want a deal, and your attorney's like, okay, and just like breeze right past it, now you're in the trial stage and you're like, wait a second, okay, I saw everybody testify at the preliminary hearing. Maybe it's not looking that hot for me, and can I have a deal? And there might actually be years added on where earlier on in the case, you could have gotten something better. And that case that I was telling you about, like just going back and thinking about what could have been done for him early on, I mean, we are talking about years of someone's life. And that particular client is a good man and a good person who maybe made a mistake. And it's really sad that happened. And it's sad that attorney did that. And I know that attorney. And I think he's not a very nice person, and I'm trying to watch my language on YouTube in case they at some point again have an issue with foul language. But that would be what I would use in this case, because I know what happened, and I saw his file, and I saw the notes, and I talked to the DA, and I know what happened, and he just didn't care enough. He didn't care enough to explain what I'm explaining right here, right now. So I hope that this helps you. And I'm only an attorney in California. And I'm not giving legal advice. This is for educational, entertainment value only, whatever. But I think that this is fairly universal. Anyway, I encourage you, if you do have a criminal case, download the criminal case timeline down below if this is of interest to you and helpful to you. If you do have a question, feel free to leave it in the comments. I do read all the comments, sometimes to my detriment. And if it's a question about a legal question that I can give an answer to, I'm happy to do it. And if you do have a criminal case in California, feel free to give me a call. You can find my number down below. You can also book a call with me right there.